All right, folks, welcome to PRTV. Here we are once again. Hope you enjoy this video. God bless y'all. This one's about the crops going bad, and there's a lot of bad weather, a lot of tornadoes. Stay safe, folks.
The nation's winter wheat crop is limping towards the finish line. I'm Haley Bickelhop. Drought and freezing temperatures taking a big bite out of crop conditions ahead of harvest. According to the latest crop progress report, the nation's winter wheat crop is only 30% good to excellent. Now last year, it was at 45%. Another third of the crop this year is called poor to very poor. And Michelle Rook has been looking into current conditions. Michelle, are these some of the worst crop conditions that we've seen in several years?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right, and it's mainly due to the fact that 68% of the nation's winter wheat acres are in some level of drought. Now, hard red winter wheat, though in particular, faced ice and harsh temperatures over the winter, and just this weekend, another frost event. So conditions will drop further next week, leaving a crop that's rivaling the disaster in 2023.
There's a lot of drought, but there's a lot of bad weather coming, so there'll be a lot of rain and flooding, I imagine.
The nation's winter wheat crop ratings dropped 4% this last week. At 30% good to excellent, it's already the fifth worst in history, largely due to expanding drought over the winter.
We had a lot of optimism when this crop went in the ground in the fall. It got up and established. It looked pretty promising. It just couldn't get Mother Nature to cooperate with rain.
And he says the rating is being held up by a better soft red and white winter wheat crop from South Dakota down to the Texas Panhandle.
Temperatures did drop into the teens and 20s across parts of Nebraska and northeast Colorado, as well as northwestern Kansas. And that's the area where in mid-March, we fell below zero with no snow on the ground for 3 days. That was the case. And so we were suspicious that maybe we injured the crop.
There's rain in the forecast, but wheat in many areas of the HRW belt is ahead of normal, and so it may come too late to help.
So
Yeah, I guess too little, too late. That happens so often.
there will be some relief coming up, but it's almost May, and we're going to start reproducing that crop pretty soon. So it's going to be really difficult to get those yields back up to where they ought to be.
Poor to very poor ratings stand at 55% for Texas and Nebraska, 45% for Oklahoma, and 41% for Kansas, indicating there will be some abandonment. Kansas could rival 2023 when 30% of the acres were not harvested.
Historically, abandonment for the state of Kansas is somewhere between that 5 to 6%. I would say we're probably going to be closer to that 10 to 15% abandonment.
And yields will also be down in HRW areas, including Kansas.
Year on year, total production of hard red winter wheat in the state of Kansas down, I would guess somewhere between 20 to 25%.
So a near disaster for
Wow.
the nation's top wheat producer and much of the
That's a
hard red
crying
winter
shame.
wheat belt. I'm Michelle Rook reporting
Really?
for Ag Day.
Well,
Tonight,
just like the Bible
widespread
said,
devastation as at
Famine
least
coming,
one
folks.
reported tornado
Incoming.
hits North Texas.
Homes completely destroyed, power
Wow.
lines down, debris still in the
Another
street.
thing.
Tonight we'll hear from people who are impacted.
You realize who
weather.
your friends are and who your family is.
Homes collapsed and businesses destroyed. We're on the ground in Mineral Wells tonight with a first look at the damage after a reported tornado.
A war zone. War zone.
Plus strong winds and damaging hail. We have live team coverage on the damage left behind and our next chances.
Wow, look at the size of that thing. Looks bigger than a baseball, I would say.
For storms this week.
And we're going to start with that massive cleanup effort now underway just west of the Metroplex. Here's a look at the destruction in Mineral Wells. Well, right off the bat, we need to say no one has died tonight despite all that damage.
But for
Thank
the
the
second
Lord.
time in 3
Thank the Lord. Bless his name.
days, families have been displaced from their homes and trying to figure out what's next. As we said, Mineral Wells was the hardest hit area tonight. That's about 50 miles west of Fort Worth in Parco and Palo Pinto County.
Texas.
You know, we brought you 5 hours of continuous live coverage right through 8 p.m. Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus is about to walk us through what happened and look ahead to our chances for more rain this week.
But let's begin with Richard Sullivan live in Mineral Wells tonight. Richard?
Yeah, guys, right now the city officials tell me they are working to put the city under curfew because it is simply too dangerous with all the debris spread across several neighborhoods here in the city. But beyond that destruction, beyond the damage, guys, tonight there is real pain and heartbreak, and we saw that in real time earlier this evening. I had a chance to stand there with the homeowner as he looked upon what was his home. He told me he was in the kitchen with his wife, hunkered down as that tornado ripped through their neighborhood. And tonight, these are the words that he had to share with me.
Well, my wife and I had been on the back patio because they had told us that it was actually by the lake.
Yeah.
And so we'd gone on the back patio, and then it got real windy. We started seeing debris, which I guess from the neighbor's house. We had time to shut the door, and then it hit, and all of our windows were busting, and debris
Just like
was
that.
just flying around in our living room. So,
Where were you guys at?
Just that quick.
right by the kitchen bar.
Okay. And you hunkered down. What did it sound like?
Like a freight
just
train.
A lot of breaking glass and bumps and bangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What's going through your head right now? Just
where do I begin to fix it? Starting over?
Thank God I'm
how long
alive.
you guys lived here, if you don't mind me asking?
19 years.
Wow.
Wow, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
19 years in this home, and it all gone in a matter of seconds. Now, this is in the Holiday Hills neighborhood, right next to the golf course here in the city. Police allowed us in for a brief moment, and the damage was extensive. I mean, just look at this. Homes ripped apart by the tornado, trees snapped like twigs. Officials say around 5 this evening, they set off the emergency warning system. And shortly after, that's when tons of reports started rolling in of damage. The good news here tonight, no one has died and no one is currently missing, but officials are still searching just to be safe. There were several injuries reported and treated on location, and I'm told by officials tonight 2 people were transported to the
All that
hospital.
damage.
We did ask an
Look at
update on their
that.
conditions, but they didn't share
Beautiful
it at this
home.
time. We know multiple homes were severely damaged, but the most
Wow.
important thing here tonight is that everyone is still here, and
Yeah.
those who can are chipping
Amen
in to
to
help.
that. Reduced to rubbish.
I talked to
Look at that.
everybody so far, and everybody I talked to, they already went to get some rooms, but everybody's doing good.
Thank the Lord
okay.
they're all right.
What does it say that so many people are out helping right now?
It's a blessing. It really is.
Yeah,
Everybody coming
yeah,
in
amen.
together. That's
Good.
great.
Good.
Truly a blessing here in this community tonight, but officials say they do not need the help of citizens because it is simply too dangerous. Again, you saw some of that video, all the debris spread across the neighborhood. We do know from officials, and I wanted to make sure that we reported this information. If you are needing help here tonight in this area, they say head over to Mineral Wells
Shout
High
out to
School
this gentleman.
because the cafeteria is open as a center. The American Red Cross is here as well. And we did confirm with the district before the start of this newscast that school will be in session for students. But certainly, this community has a long road to recovery. And now I want to send it over to my colleague, Adriana Del Alba, who is also in Mineral Wells. Adriana, where are you at and what are you seeing tonight?
Hey, Richard. Well, like you mentioned, you and I have been out here on the ground for hours, and I noticed that home after home, block after block, damage, homes destroyed. The damage here, I liked how you mentioned it. The damage here is extensive, and I'm just going to show you. This is a warehouse, a manufacturing warehouse. It's hard to tell what it even was
Look
because
at
the
that.
entire
The
front
strength to bend
was
those
destroyed.
girders.
This all used to be glass.
Wow.
And you can see that it's just covered in debris. It is mangled.
Absolutely
It's difficult,
incredible, folks.
to see what this was in the past. But that is just a glimpse of the damage here. This is near the Country Club Estates neighborhood. It's a pressure vessel manufacturing building. And the people who run this place, they are here tonight and they are devastated. Tonight, they say they don't even know where to begin. And that's the story across several parts of Mineral Wells and Weatherford. That reported tornado damaging homes, tearing down trees, and knocking down power lines. It traveled more than 2 miles. Further south, we met a family whose homes sit on the same piece of land just off of Highway 180 in Weatherford. Neighbors immediately stepped in to begin helping with cleanup there. It was just wonderful to see people coming together for that family in those moments. And the reported tornado tore through it, flipping this mobile home on its side. And steps away, this is the home of a man named John Reeder. He told us he was lying in bed when suddenly the roof flew off. He is okay, thank goodness, and made it through with just a scratch.
I was in that room. I was sitting on that bed. And they said, take shelter. I stood up and all of a sudden, I'm just thankful I made it out of there, that's for sure.
Amen to that, brother. Can you imagine the power of these things? I mean, to bend a steel girder like that, and flip over things that weigh thousands of pounds. It's amazing.
And as for these business owners for this warehouse, it's going to be a long night. Richard mentioned there is a curfew in place, but these owners say they actually want to hunker down and keep an eye on this property. So a lot of work ahead tomorrow. Daylight really will reveal all of this damage, and that's when the real cleanup effort begins as people start to recover whatever they can. We're live in Mineral Wells tonight. Adriana De Alba.
Our thanks to you, Adriana, and Richard Solomon. Just an excellent job out in the field. And to reiterate what Richard Solomon said, Mineral Wells ISD will operate on a normal school schedule tomorrow.
Not far from Fort Worth.
And you look at that damage, the Weather Service will go out there tomorrow and they'll make the final determination. But, it's tornado damage. We know that. It's got to be an EF2, possibly an EF3. I was talking with Jesse Huila about that. Where those roofs are ripped off, that's usually an EF3.
Okay.
So high-end EF2, probably a low-end EF3.
Yeah,
and they'll likely make that determination
That's
sometime.
plenty of damage.
Probably sometime tomorrow. We'll have that tomorrow.
More than enough damage to bend those, and strength to bend those girders. Well, pray for all these folks. For sure, pray for them. God bless you, folks. We sure appreciate you coming out to PRTV, and I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you so much.